Hello everybody, I'm Steve with SFitness. Now in the last couple of videos we were talking about two key hormones that play a big role in fat storing and fat burning. Now insulin is anabolic, and we've covered that, and it's basically favoring storing and building. That's what insulin does. That's the main job of insulin. Happens every time we eat something and it's an excess of stored energy. Glucagon is catabolic, which basically means releasing of stored energy, or breaking down to release the stored energy. To get energy, obviously we need to eat, and eating is usually associated with switching on insulin, so we know that. But we know that glucagon usually switches on when we don't eat or when we have a lack of energy. But there's a little thing called protein that actually activates glucagon. And how do we get protein? Well, by eating. So glucagon can be switched on also through eating. And that's where this video comes in, and this is what I'm going to talk about today. How do we activate glucagon with the use of protein? Now, with protein, we know that protein is the building blocks of life. I mean, protein is in everything. It's in our nails, in our skin, in our hair. Obviously, protein is muscle. And it's when we want to get protein, we usually get it mostly from meats. So chicken, beef, pork, fish. We can also get protein from plant sources like beans, legumes, things of that nature. So we know how to get protein. We know we have to eat it to get it into our body. Now, the body cannot store protein. Basically, protein gets converted to amino acids, and then the amino acids are the building blocks of muscle and everything else in our body. But if we consume protein and there is protein that cannot be utilized, the body has no form of storage for protein. So what does it do with protein? Well, it has to convert it to glucose. So now, one of the processes that the hormone glucagon activates is the process called let's see if I can say it, gluconeogenesis. There, I said it. Gluconeogenesis. That's one of the processes that glucagon activates. Gluconeogenesis is needed to store anything that is not carbohydrate. Basically, what it does is this process converts protein or amino acids into glucose, and then the body can store it. So if protein is not converted first, there is no way to store it. The body, I mean, you know that fats are basically stored glucose. So it's not stored protein. Protein is in our muscles. So if the body can't utilize the amino acids to build muscle, okay, then what's it going to do with the excess protein? It needs to convert it. And that's why glucagon gets secreted whenever we consume a protein-rich meal. According to my research on this entire process, you would think that because the body is converting protein to glucose, that your insulin level is going to raise. But this is not the case. Now, when you eat a protein-rich meal, usually what happens, okay, this is basically what happens, both insulin and glucagon is secreted. This is the only exception where both hormones are actually secreted to do one task in the process of homeostasis. Basically, the balance that we need for the sugar and energy abundance, or whatever is in our body that's not within the sweet spot of what the body wants. So both of these hormones are needed to, one, to store the glucose, and the other one to convert the protein into glucose. Right? Because the protein is becoming glucose, insulin is already there. So the body doesn't release extra insulin because of this conversion. So this is a good thing, because now we know that if we start eating protein-rich meals, we will have somewhat stable insulin response, and we will also be activating glucagon, which is what we would like to activate to aid us in fat burning. Knowing all of this, and you see how, you know, this is, hopefully you can see how all this is coming together. Now, this is, all this information, glucagon, insulin, all this fat storing, fat burning, and protein, is now basically slowly making the map to my journey unfold. I mean, this is slowly showing me what I need to do to continue on with this journey to burning fat, the excess fat. And you know, this could go with whoever it is, whoever wants to get on this journey and burning fat. This information is proving to be very, very vital to understanding how eating, and now not just eating, okay, but also what we eat determines what happens, you know, with the body. It's in terms of storing or burning fat. Now, usually when you go out to set out to go and figure out what you want to do because you want to change your body, you'll mostly hear people say the most important thing of doing a body transformation or getting in shape is your diet. Well, I have to admit, when I first started, I would hear this and I'd be like, well, how? I mean, I want to burn fat. So how will eating affect my fat burning? Well, now we know. It's a little bit more clearer. Eating is the key to actually making the body do what you want it to do. Obviously, doing some exercise is going to help. But exercise alone does not produce the results that you would like as far as fat burning or you know, muscle building for that matter. You need to eat, and what you eat, what you put in your mouth, affects what the body wants to do with the food that you are consuming. And in this case, hormones is the switches of life. Hormones switch on and off all the time. I mean, we don't even know that this is going on. The body is so amazing at doing all these processes. It's like, yes, we can control our arms, our fingers, we can control speaking, but we have no control over what the body is doing beyond our control. I mean, we cannot tell the body to say, you know what, we want it to burn fat. We can't do that. The body does it on its own. It's so amazing that it's like, I mean, when I started finding all these things out, it's like, wow, I am myself. I control me, but yet again, I don't control me. I mean, there's another me inside of me, controlling things, you know, doing all the things that I can never even think about doing. I mean, there's so many processes going on. And hormones is basically all the switches that controls what happens to the food that we eat. So diet is important when it comes to fat burning, and all this information is slowly unfolding that. So I hope that this information has proven to be very helpful. Now we know a little bit more on the steps needed to actually control our switches, those hormones that we want to control, and slowly is showing us the path that we would like to take. I mean, this is the path that I took, this is what I'm sharing, and I hope that it does prove to be very helpful in your journey. So let's continue on, you know, learning together. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. I hope that all these videos are very helpful. And let's go out there and let's make a better body. Thank you for watching. See you next time.